very warm welcome to Monday night. We just had a sudden impromptu fireworks display just outside the window, so that's quite exciting. So I can see all the sparks and the colours outside the window, so it's quite exciting. So yeah, very warm welcome. This is Monday night meditation. So this is a chance where we're gonna meditate together as a community, Brixton Buddhist community, meditate together, support each other with the energy, energetically, so that we can kind of support each other's meditation. So yeah, it's really good to meditate in numbers, and you know, our community is made up of all kinds of people, and what we're doing these in the coming weeks and months is we're inviting more committed members of the community to come up and kind of teach alongside and teach together. So I'm really delighted that we've got Alex here teaching alongside this evening. And yeah, my name's Mike Trinara. If you don't know me, my name's Mike Trinara, and also delighted to have some friends here as well. We're keeping classes quite small. We're calling them hybrid classes. So you know, they're part, they're live streamed, and just small numbers of friends just coming down to meditate together with us. So we've got Daisy May here and Adam here as well to sitting with us. Yeah, so there's a chat function. I'm sure you know about the chat function. Everybody's very YouTube savvy these days. So you can just say who you are and where you are, and that'd be really good. I can say hello then. Yeah, so yeah, just put that into the chat. Okay, so what we've been doing this series called the Brahma Viharas. The Brahma Viharas is it translates as the heavenly abodes or the immeasurables. These practices that open the heart, and they're kind of a set of meditations, almost like a set of reflections, really. And we started off with a long series on the Metta. Metta is kind of the basis. It's really the foundational Brahma Vihara. There's a set of 4. And then in the last couple of weeks, we were looking at mudita bhavana. Mudita bhavana is sympathetic joy, translates as sympathetic joy. It's this kind of resonance when people are doing well, or resonance with the good qualities in people, yeah? And it's been really interesting, because while I've been teaching that and practicing that more at home, it has definitely affected my weeks. My last couple of weeks, definitely I've been more tuned in with the good qualities, in fact with kind of appreciation generally. So it's really interesting how these meditations kind of colour our everyday. And this next couple of weeks, starting this week, we're doing the Karuna Bhavana. Karuna meaning compassion. And so we're really going to be interested to see well, what you guys make of it and how it kind of affects your week. Really. So we'll be kind of exploring Karuna, which is compassion. It's what happens when Metta meets suffering, meets kind of difficulty in our lives or other people's lives. So that's what we'll be doing tonight. So I'm just going to hand over to Alex now, and he's going to lead us in a little body awareness exercise.
Thank you much, Nora. A warm welcome from me as well. I'm really delighted to lead this short practice, body scan practice. The aim of it is just to relax into our bodies and to calm our minds down, to be ready for a longer meditation later on. Right? So I invite us to find a very comfortable position wherever you are, here in the house or at home, on a cushion, perhaps at home, or on a chair. Let's find a comfortable position. Just ensure that your back, your spine is upright. And when you are ready, you feel comfortable, close your eyes. we can start our short practice with 3 very deep and slow breath in and very slow breath out. Just ensure that when you are breathing in, you fill your lungs with air, and when you get to the top, just stop for a second. It feels comfortable before you slowly breathe out. We do this 3 times. Let's bring our awareness to the weight of our body now. Feel the weight of our body on the cushion, on the chair. No need to ruminate about the weight of the body. Just feel it. See if you can narrow down your feeling to the contact where your body touches the cushion or the chair. And see what you can feel here. Can you find any sensations, tingling sensations? Whatever feels. You're open to various of experiences. Let's slowly bring our awareness to our feet, to our toes. What are we feeling here? What sensations can you find in your toes? Perhaps let's color our awareness with kindness and curiosity. Extend our awareness to our feet, to both feet. Be grateful to our feet for carrying us all day, every day, from one place to another. Stay there for a second or 2. Let's slowly move our awareness to our legs, both legs. And let's see if we can find any sensations here. Just remember to keep that curiosity and kindness when you're feeling, trying to find any sensations. If you have your hands on your laps, just feel the contact of your hands with your legs, your laps. Feel your glutes, feel the weight of your body on your glutes. Gently move your awareness up to your lower back. If you feel comfortable, just explore your lower back. What can you find here? What are the sensations? Let's extend our awareness to the top of our back. And if you feel comfortable, shift your awareness now to your tummy, abdominal. Can you feel your breath in your tummy? Do you feel your tummy expanding with the breath? Just relax your tummy. move our awareness to our chest area, our heart area. It's an important part of our body. And let's see if you can find any sensations here. Can you feel any warmth here? Let's remember to bring that kindness and curiosity into our practice. See what we feel here. Let's take some attention to our heart area. It is said that this is where the Metta comes from, so let's just explore this area. And now invite us slowly to move our awareness to our neck, our throat, and bring it down to your shoulders, and relax your shoulders. Relax your arms. Sure, your shoulders are very relaxed. Just drop them. What can you feel there? Can you feel anything in your shoulders? Let's bring our awareness to our face now, starting from our forehead, relaxing our forehead, relaxing all the muscles in and around our forehead, relaxing muscles in the top of our head, slowly moving down to our eyes, relaxing our eyes, elbows, around our nose, our cheeks, our chin. Just ensure your face is totally relaxed. And let's see if we can find any sensations here. Always remember to keep this curiosity and kindness in your practice, in your awareness. See if you can feel your ears. Let's say 1 or 2 seconds on our face, feeling our face, feeling our ears. And now I invite us to bring our awareness to our entire body. And see if you can feel your entire body. See if you can feel your body moving with your breath, with each breath. Where can you find the breath? Your heart area, your tummy, or all around your body. Perhaps you can imagine beautiful white light is hanging on the top of our head. This white light is nicely and slowly is coming down, embracing our head, coming down to our neck, our throat, moving down to our shoulders, heart area, our back, our tummy, our glutes. As the light moves through our body gets even more relaxed. Goes through our legs, our feet, and just disappears. Let's
stay for a second with this awareness of the light just touch on to our body. Let's feel the weight of our body on a cushion or on a chair. Just be aware of your surroundings, where you are. Going to ring the bell now. And you can open your eyes whenever you're ready. Thank you. What do you much more?
Thanks very much, Alex. Okay, let's see who's there, who's out there on this wet autumnal day. We've got the rain coursing down outside. The fireworks have stopped now. Good, Charlotte's there. Hi, Charlotte. In Dorset. Hi there. It's Annabelle joining for the first time. That's great. Hi, Annabelle. Very warm welcome. There's Ed and Tam, buddies of Alex, and usually at the LBC. Hey, that's great. Come to support Alex. That's great. Jill. Hi, Jill from Gypsy Hill. Karina in Brixton nearby, and then Tom in Herne Hill. Good evening to you. Brian. It's Brian. Brian's tuned in. Hey, Brian. Good to see you. He says to say hi to Alex, March and I, Adam, and everyone. And Peter's saying, "Can you bring the mic closer? Can you bring the mic closer?" That's a question for our man Jack on the tech.
The mic on that side isn't working. So
there's technical issues, Peter, with that. I'm afraid we might just need to talk up. Maybe we'll talk up, and you can let us know, Peter, if you can hear us. Yeah. And then we've got Susanna. Hello from wet and windy East Dulwich. Hi, Susanna. Okay, great. So very warm welcome, as I said, to the Monday night meditation, and also to the guys here. So yeah, we're doing this. We're going to be exploring the Karuna Bhavana, and this set of 4 meditations or reflections, and it would be tempting to think that there's kind of 4 separate things to kind of do, and that's not really the case. There's really only one Brahma Vihara, which is Metta. Yeah, there's only really one Brahma Vihara, which is Metta. So we don't need to worry about kind of adapting Metta, like kind of somehow kind of artificially, kind of changing it to adapt. Metta is the Brahma Vihara, and then when it comes into contact with joy, comes into contact with or difficulty or suffering, in this case, with the Karuna Bhavana, well, naturally, it spontaneously becomes Karuna, becomes compassion. So that's important to say, that we don't try to artificially kind of make our Metta into something different. Yeah. Next thing I'm interested in exploring in this area is, well, what happens when we contact suffering in our experience? I think it's really worth thinking about this and asking a few questions. So mostly tonight is going to be kind of about some questions that we can, well, it might be quite subtle, so we might need to kind of play and work with them a little bit, these questions in our experience. Yeah. So one of them, a kind of key question around suffering and difficulty, is what is our kind of attitude towards suffering? And this does require a little bit of kind of quiet, kind of gentle exploration, because it's very easy to kind of force an idea of how we respond. Yeah, but as we as we know with the Metta Bhavana, we're really trying to work with what's actually there, yeah, and then just try to very, very gently use our awareness to kind of bring metta towards that, yeah. So we need to kind of see what's actually there when we experience suffering. We might have an idea, for example, that it's a bit wrong to suffer. Somehow that it's a kind of a bit of a failure. Somehow something's not going quite right if we're suffering, yeah, or someone else is suffering. Yeah? So that's might be one thing that we might kind of need to tease out if we're going to start getting the Karuna Bhavana kind of flowing. Yeah, is that maybe there's a subtle idea that there's a kind of it's wrong for us to suffer. We're somehow doing something wrong, or other people doing something wrong. Another thing that we might fall into is we might be kind of frustrated. We might be frustrated and feel that we want to kind of get out of the suffering as soon as possible. And this is well typified. You know, when you start to tell someone about something that's going on and it's tricky, and they start offering you solutions before you've even really... Do you know what I mean? It really feels like it's kind of closing you down. Do you know what I mean? It feels like you're being closed down, really, because they're just kind of frustrated, yeah? And they don't really kind of quite know how to be with you. So it's quite difficult to be with people with something, quite difficult to be with yourself. Another feeling you might experience is a kind of, and it might be associated with this actually, is kind of impotence, a kind of a sense that you can't kind of get the person out of that suffering, yeah? And so it might be a kind of overabundance of kind of will on your behalf that you feel like you should be able to actually kind of somehow get people out of suffering, get yourself out of suffering, yeah? So you might feel kind of a bit kind of, kind of a bit impotent in the face of what's going on. So what's in the mix? You know, what's in the mix? And we got to be quite, as I was saying, quite kind of subtle, kind of gentle in that exploration, because it's very, very easy to kind of override all of that with an idea of being nice and being good, yeah, and kind of trying to force out some sort of kind of Buddhist, an idea of a Buddhist response, rather than actually seeing how you actually are responding. Then we might ask another question. We might ask, do we want to suffer? Now that sounds really odd, right? Do we want to suffer? You think, so I think it was a bit no, isn't it? It's like, no, I don't want to suffer. But we're quite identified with our suffering. We can identify with our suffering. It's that question, isn't it? When people ask you how you are, you have to make a decision. I think I might have been talking about this last week. You have to make a decision. Do you go with the grit, or do you go with what's going well? You know, there's usually a bit of both going on. And it might be, it's quite interesting if you kind of feel compelled to go with the grit, because that's kind of more real somehow, yeah? So, and then you might start to notice that there's a subtle kind of identification with difficulty. So yeah, there's these questions we can ask. There's one other thing I might also add to that, is that do we want other people to suffer? Are we indifferent to their suffering? And that can be, we can explore that in the neutral stage and in the enemy stage. Yeah. What do we really feel about this person's suffering? Yeah, and we need to kind of turn into that. So say a couple of words briefly about karuna. So compassion comes from this Latin word con, or with. And there's some really lovely kind of analogies in the Buddhist terminology. Akadampa means kind of to tremble alongside, to kind of vibrate alongside. And that's quite interesting in the case of suffering. You're kind of trembling alongside. Of course, there's things you can do practically, isn't there, to help people, but often there isn't. Often you just need to tremble alongside. You need to kind of be with them. You might need to ask questions, or just to be with them, or to explore in a way. And Karuna Bhavana keeps the Metta Bhavana and the Mudita Bhavana honest. Yeah, it's very, they can be quite good, feel good practices. And the Karuna Bhavana, well, what it just reminds of us that we're not trying to avoid suffering. Yeah, we're not trying to avoid suffering. And well, you know, the Metta Bhavana, Mudita Bhavana can, you know, without tempering in this way, become kind of a bit self-complacent, a bit self-satisfied. Yeah. So this is how we're going to do the practice. It's very, very similar in form. All the Brahma Viharas have the same structure, but there's one extra stage. Okay. So to start with, we're going to feel metta for ourselves. We're going to do this dropping into the well of the heart, this kind of feeling out of how we are. And then this extra stage is bringing to mind somebody that we know is suffering. Yeah? So that's the extra stage. And then we'll go through the friend, the neutral person, the so-called enemy, and then expanding out from all those people outwards. Yeah? So I'm going to lead us through, and so you don't need to remember any of that. I'll lead us through those stages. It'll be about a 20-minute practice, and then there'll be chances for questions afterwards. Let's just see what people are saying here. Mike is good for Maitrinara, but quiet for Alex. You're going to have to talk up, Alex. Right? And Steph says hello from Gypsy Hill, and thanks to Alex for kicking us off. Okay, so let's set ourselves in for a session of the Karuna Bhavana. I'll lead us through the stages. So just in the way that Alex was saying, just contacting your body. That's where it starts, yeah? We can feel our contact with the ground, can feel our belly, our shoulders, face, and come into contact with the chest. You can start to just start to feel our way into the chest, into the heart center, and as if we're in this kind of well where we're just dropping into the well of the heart and not assuming we know how we are. Just kind of stretching out our mind as if we were stretching out our hands, just to feel our way into how we are just now. So we're feeling our way into how we are. However that is, it may be that we can't feel very much. So we just notice how that feels. Like looking at a grey, cloudy day, there's still texture there. So we're just noticing the texture, the sensations, bringing a curious, warm, open attitude to our experience. We don't need to leave anything out. What we're feeling, what we're thinking, sensations of the body, just letting everything be present in this well of the heart. So now we just bring to mind somebody that we know is struggling, maybe mentally or physically. And just whoever comes to mind, that's the right person. So get a sense of them, in a way, get a feeling for them, get them in a way up close in your mind. And just noticing what's happening as you come into contact with them in their difficulty. So you're not trying to force anything to happen, but we're just trying to stay with them. Staying with them, but we're also staying with our response to them. This practice is important. Just still keep finding ease in your body. Make sure you don't tense up. Keep softening through the body. So now just letting this person fade from your mind and bringing instead a good friend, someone you have a good straightforward connection with. Loving connection. And again, just bring them up close in your mind. You might even want to say their name a couple of times to yourself. And just drop in the reflection that just like you, your good friend is prone to suffering. Suffering is part of our experience, and your good friend is no different. So we're staying with our good friend, but we're also staying with our own response to them. We can't force anything to happen. We can just stay with this reflection, stay with our good friend. Just see what happens. See honestly turning into what's actually happening. Even if that's not very much, whatever's going on, just turning into that. You could drop in the reflection, may my good friend be free from suffering. So just staying inhabited in your body, staying with your body, keep softening and finding ease in your experience. So we're going to let our good friend, faithful my mind now, bring into mind somebody that we don't know very well, just somebody we don't have a strong feeling for one way or the other, but someone who we are in contact with, through at times in our life. Maybe someone from work, on the way to work, someone from the neighbourhood. So whoever comes to mind, that's the right person. So just bringing that person close up in your mind. Getting a sense of them. And then recognising that part of their experience will involve suffering. Suffering sometimes sounds too big a word. It could just be difficulty, discomfort. Sense that life is not quite going their way. They're going to be prey to those experiences like we all are, and just starting to come into contact with that aspect in this person. So you're staying with this person, you're with them, and at the same time you're with your response to them. And if it's helpful, you can drop in the reflection, may they be free from suffering. So staying in the body, with the sensations of your body, and just noticing if there's any subtle tension, which indicates often a kind of forcing or willfulness in the practice. So just seeing if you can find a little bit of softening, a little bit of ease. Now moving on to somebody that we're finding difficult at the moment. So there's always someone we have a little tension with. If we are honest, there's someone that we feel maybe just even out of connection with. Doesn't need to be a full-blown disagreement, just someone that we're not in harmony with, not in good connection with. So whoever comes to mind, that's the right person, just bringing them up close in your mind. And seeing what effect that has. And then seeing what effect it has to dwell on this reflection that they too are prone to suffering, difficulty, discomfort. Comes with having the body, comes with having the mind. Can we recognise that in this person? So we're trying to stay with them and stay with our response to them. So stay relaxed in your body, bringing to mind all of those 4 people that you've just been spending time with. Just feeling the metta, whatever shade of metta you're feeling. moving amongst you. And then in your own way you can just start to open that out to more people. Maybe all the people that are on this call, all the people that will watch it later, all the people that they know, and all the people that they know. Just spreading out. Whoever comes to mind can be enveloped as part of this expansion of metta to a world that's prone to suffering, beings, humans, young and old, animals, all sorts. Just this sense of radiating expansion, opening. And now just letting go of any effort, staying with your heart, staying with how you are. And just for the last few moments of the meditation, just dwelling in the fruits of the practice. And now just coming back into contact with the ground, your contact with the ground, feeling of your body, feeling of meditating with other people, friends, community, new and old. Okay. Good. So we've got a chance for questions. Actually, Adam, I'm going to get you just to boot this phone up again because it's. Let's go. Cheers. Okay, so we've got a chance for questions. It's good to, there is an impulse to just be quiet, isn't there, after meditation? I kind of understand that impulse. It's very valuable sometimes to sit in contemplation after meditation, kind of work out, what's kind of happened. But another way to do that is really just to start to articulate that amongst us and see if we can kind of share, all this strange experience that we call in meditation, which is really our mind. So let's open it out. I don't know if you guys have had any thoughts about anything that we said or anything that happened in that meditation. Or you guys at home could put something in the chat box. If something has occurred to you, or a question, or something even just something you want to check out, you could just put it in the chat box as well.
Yeah, when you said it, on that meditation, I was thinking about the suffering of a friend, and it just I felt like I just started to feel into the enormity of suffering, or the depth of suffering, and just sort of I felt like I was more connected to it in some way, and it was sort of like a contrast of suffering, but also metta sort of intertwined. It was just fast to sort of see of it. I don't know, I haven't sort of experienced that before, but I don't know if that.
Yeah, it sounds really useful. Bhante Sangharakshita, the founder of this True Ratna movement, talked about there being a kind of cloud of suffering that we all kind of partake in a way. And what we're wishing for is the kind of alleviation of that. It's just not. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be in that. Nobody wants to touch that. So I think that's why it's so exciting in a way, the metta practices, because you start to loosen up that idea of, is it mine or is it their suffering? You're just kind of coming into contact with suffering, and it just, you can kind of, it's quite, well, I was interested to actually, because I had some reflections on the kind of quality of what the metta felt like. I wondered what you thought, Adam, when the metta touches suffering, like what kind of effect that has in a way.
Sort of an opening of my heart in a way. That was the best way of sort of describing it. Sort of an expansiveness. Yeah.
It's interesting. I found there was a definite flavour to it. I felt kind of sobered in a way, in a good way. I felt kind of sobered, kind of brought up to the reality of things. This is what it's like, you know. Not exclusively. People don't suffer exclusively the whole of the time, but that is definitely part of what it's like, you know. And there's something very sobering, I find, in that.
I felt kind of warmth actually. There's some kind of like the feeling of this warmth, like the expansion, but there's this kind of warmth in that expansion in a way towards kind of that person that is kind of like feeling the metta. It's very, very interesting kind of feeling. Almost like, you know, when, I don't know, you have kind of like a very close friend around, you know, what do you feel that kind of warmth is? Like almost you want to kind of give a hug, don't you? Especially these days that you can't give a hug, but you want to give a hug. So I felt that kind of like a warmth, like this warmth and kind of like a sensation that I can't really explain. There's just kind of like something incredible was there.
Just checking if there's anything from you. You're very quiet at home there. You're very quiet at home. All right. Anything else, guys? Anything else about that practice of the Karana Bhavna?
I just was thinking that about a friend that was suffering, but the warmth that it brought to me is that it didn't actually just belong to that person. That suffering is something that we share, so it wasn't like it was their suffering, it just felt like there is suffering. We're all sort of involved in it rather than it just belonging to that one person, that you share that. The alleviation of suffering is for everybody, isn't it? It's not just for this person's suffering, we're all part of that.
We're all part of it, aren't we? And yet, you know, it does take on the form of the particular people. That's why it's so useful to bring particular people to mind, because I was putting a few questions out there to start with about what our relationship to suffering is, and I just wondered if I thought they were interesting. I don't know what you guys thought about those questions, about how we, you know, what happens when we come up close to suffering, you know. Do we shy away? Do we, you know, I find this space of meditation, interesting space to kind of start to touch into that. I think it needs more time than one session. I kind of got a feeling it needs quite a few of these type of sessions to actually get at what your attitudes really are. Quite a kind of quiet exploration of that.
I certainly found it easier approaching a friend's suffering first, because it was easier to take on, it's easier to look at and to feel. And by the time I got to the difficult person, I was much more receptive had I started with the difficult person. So I was actually quite. It just felt like a new experience to embrace the difficult person's suffering.
Yeah, I mean, there's used to be there's a strong practice in Triratna of rejoicing, you know, and often I would find that at birthdays particularly, and often I would find if I was having difficulty with someone who was being rejoiced in, it would kind of re-inflate them, like a kind of rehydrate them in a way. And in the same way, I found this practice, it kind of expanded that difficult person back out from this kind of, you know, wrong'un into someone that was, well, you know, kind of drew out their humanity, and actually, it's kind of a bit of a relief actually. I found it kind of softened me up in relation to them. Here we go, Charlotte's joined the fray. I find the questions really helpful. I definitely have to watch myself when with a friend who's suffering, so that I don't immediately try problem solving. Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? That's what we're getting at. Is this? It's like a kind of. It's just so difficult to be with suffering sometimes that you just want to like get out of it, you know, quickly, don't you? And problem solving is like the most immediate way that you can kind of exert your bit of kind of control on the situation somehow. Yeah, thanks for that, Charlotte. Yeah, nice, good point.
Especially when a family member or a close friend actually, you know, and they are suffering, just straight away want to kind of like come up with some solution, don't you?
Yeah.
I find that with my kind of mother when she I feel she is suffering, she wants to complain, or she complains, I just want to straight away offer my solution rather than just to sit and listen. Yeah.
I found it useful when you sort of in the talk beforehand to sort of, I think you said tremble alongside them. I think so I kind of it gave me a bit more sort of confidence to just really feel suffering without trying to problem solve or think anything around it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think it plays out in all situations that are difficult in a way. When someone's really anxious around you, that same compulsion to just give them the kind of calm version, you know, rather than just kind of, you know, not squash them down and squash their anxiety, but rather like kind of talk into that, if you see what I mean. It does seem to be quite an art to all of that. We've got another question. This is from Dario. Hi Dario. It would be also interesting to investigate the relationship between how we react to other people's suffering and age. Do we become numb to suffering when we age? I mean, you know, I put myself in the middle-aged category. God dear, I don't like to say that on camera. It's true though, there we go. That's what's happening. I think I've grown to be more compassionate, I have to say. I don't really like that word in a way, compassion. It sounds too grand in a way, too kind of big, too kind of Hollywood. I feel like I find it easier to be with people in difficulty, you know, and with myself in difficulty. So I would say, from my experience, that's not necessarily the case. But I don't know what you guys make of that.
I don't feel I'm middle age. I still consider
I'm not sure that was the question. All right, Dario. Well, we've gone off topic here, but yeah, it's interesting. Anyone else? What about that age and relationship to suffering? Anyone else?
Well, I don't know what exactly the flavour of the question was, but there's definitely an element of old age which involves quite a lot of suffering, which we can be numb towards. I just spent a weekend with my partner's family, and her grandmother is like very old, and there's lots of suffering in her experience, both mental and physical. And it's like with people who are very old. So I'm kind of saying on the other side of the equation, you know, towards the elderly, we can kind of feel like, particularly if they're not completely in touch, you know, you can feel a kind of distance from them. That's just that they're not. It's a different class of suffering or something. Whereas that's what I was bringing to mind in that second stage. That, you know, it's like that is a human being, and just like me, they're going through that suffering.
Yeah. That's true. So you kind of something to do with, you kind of put them in slightly in a different category where you're old, and that comes attendant on suffering, and I don't need to take that quite as seriously.
Yeah.
No, it might be something that But well, we've ranged around a little bit. I'm not sure we answered your question there exactly, but I think it's an interesting one. Okay, so I'm aware I think we've had enough of the questions there. I'm going to hand over to you, Alex, for the next bit.
Thank you much, Mario. Actually, I was cycling in this rainy, cold day to Effra space today, and I remember this warm and sunny day when my friend suggested me to go a Buddhist retreat. That's years ago, in 2014. And my initial reaction was yes. I don't know if it was intuition or because I really trusted this. My lovely friend Bruno is still one of my close friends. I said yes, why not? And in a few weeks' time, I found myself first time in sub 35 Buddhist retreat. And retreat was organized by a Charatna kind of community, actually kind of by LBC. And to be honest, I was just blown away by the experience, by the warmth of people, the kindness I received there, and authenticity as well. You know, I was meditating before that, you know, but I didn't have any kind of framework. I didn't have kind of people to meditate with. There's just kind of like that was missing from my life, that community kind of missing from my kind of experience. And I was in a retreat when I actually booked my next retreat. I went on. The retreat was just about to end. I put my phone on, and I kind of booked another retreat with them. I was that kind of like blown away. And after kind of a few weeks, I found myself going to LBC regularly, and also kind of like I enrolled in kind of Dharma study class kind of for mitras. Mitra means kind of like a friends for those who are not familiar with the term. So why I'm telling this story is that because I think that's what we are trying to create here, that community where people come and to find that kind of, you know, some kind of authentic and the kind friends who are there for them. And that's, I think, what we are trying to offer here for people when, unfortunately, we don't have kind of newcomers these days because of crises. But before crises, or now we're offering kind of online, kind of we have this online platform. And yeah, really, that's what we do here. We want to kind of create this environment, you know, when people who want to practice, who want to learn more, who want to know about life and to learn about life and to improve their lives, to improve the quality of their life, they have a place to go, you know. And I think in London, in this busy environment, it's so important to have these pockets of these kind of areas, these communities, where these services are provided, because we know that mental health is a massive issue in our community, massive issue. And in order for us to continue what we are doing, we rely on a dana, which means like generosity. And yeah, kind of, without your generosity, those who are kind of donating kind of on a monthly basis, on one-off basis, this won't happen, And I wouldn't be in that retreat, I wouldn't be here, and loads of other people won't be where they are now, I'm sure Machinara wouldn't be here, and Adam wouldn't be here, So this is really kind of just a call for everyone, just to kind of like really be generous if you can. And we have a kind of like a monthly target, which helps us, I guess it's kind of appearing somewhere here now, which helps us to run this service. It's not really much what we are trying to gather, to be honest, to run this service is only £2,000 a month, and so far we have reached 1,350, as you can see on the screen, which I can see, and we are missing this 650. It would be lovely if someone just donated £650, wouldn't it? But yeah, if not, like whatever you could, that would be really very much appreciated. And if you could kind of like set up direct debit, that would be even good, even wonderful. But we have kind of like I have to thank some people who have kind of donated, kind of gave kind of like a one-off gifts. Joe, thank you, Joe. Vajratara, Lee, Oli, Alex Birmingham, Sagrasila, and me. And also, I just wanted to say, yes, a few things about like events that are coming up. As I mentioned, we do kind of like run different events and kind of where kind of people come and join online, or now kind of slowly we're kind of trying to extend this to live classes. And one of the classes that we're going to start running very soon, or we have started from this week, I guess, it's a Dharma night on Wednesday, I think. And the next kind of online is Padma Sambhava Day and Sangha Day, but I'll let Machinara to say more about these evenings, because I think he knows more about these evenings than I do. So yeah, thank you, and I really appreciate your kindness and generosity. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Alex. So yeah, I'll just have that. So yeah, I mean, I'm just going to wrap up there. In the sense that we have got some really good things going on. I think it's not this week it's starting, it's actually next week is the Dharma, live Dharma class, so you can check the details of that online. You can book in for that. That's an in-person class, so that's exciting. That's a new offering from Brixton Buddhist community. And but really, what I'm really excited about, other than that, is this Padmasambhava Day Festival on the 25th of October. So that's a Sunday. And Padmasambhava is a Tibetan figure associated with transformation in the depths. And we're going to be celebrating him. And as part of that celebration, 4 of our good friends are going to become Mitras. Are going to become, which is basically a step into a more committed relationship to Buddhist community. So it's going to be a really joyous occasion. So do check online for details of that on the 25th of October. It's a Sunday. Okay, so finally, there's going to be a Zoom call. Gosh, we really run over. We had lots to say tonight. There's going to be a Zoom call starting, well, in a few minutes. Probably enough time to just zip to the toilet and then tune in. What I'm really hoping is you guys will tune into this Zoom call. Charlotte's going to be hosting it. Much loved teacher here at Brixton Buddhist Community is going to be hosting the call. And what we're really interested in is hearing, well, about your meditation experiences, your experience of practice in your everyday life. but we also want to know what you want out of that call. Yeah, whether that call's useful, what you want out of that call. So if you're a longer standing member of the community, or if you're just new and you just come along for the first time, tune into the call and we can shape that together and make it into something that we really want to be part of following these Monday meditations. Yeah, so that's an invitation to join Charlotte on the Zoom in a few minutes' time. Yeah, get yourself sorted out, go to the toilet, get a cup of tea, and then join. Charlotte will be there waiting to let you into the room. Okay, so I just want to say thanks very much, Andy. It's been a pleasure sharing the evening with you. Thanks very much, guys, for coming, and thank you, Jack, on the tent, and thank everyone at home for being part of this kind of energetic occurrence of meditating together and supporting one another. So, wish you a very warm evening.
Thank you.